Hi and welcome everybody, welcome back to the Creation Station. This is a straight run-through video that I'm not going to edit much at all. Being faced with the production the very first time, what do I hear off the get-go with neutral ears? Let me jump right in. This is my dear friend, a very talented composer, singer-songwriter, and fantastic guitarist also, Pedro Iaco from Sao Paulo, Brazil, a very dear friend of mine. We've recorded together, and he's just a precious friend who's so talented. Sent me his performance of a Guinga song. Guinga is one of the most complex and challenging and beautiful composers. It's almost like as if the Russian classical composers meet Jobim, meet arias, and highly melodious, highly harmonic, and sophisticated, and almost always unresolved in its harmony. And that's a song called Meu Pai, My Father. So let me jump in. Right from the first few bars, there's something in the center right over here between the speakers, sort of like half left, that's very honky, and I wonder if I have to use a directional EQ on it. I need to equalize before I add any room. Let me do a little equalizing. Let me look at, where is it? The BX Pan EQ, and filter out that band where it is. I'm going to make the bandwidth narrow and set it to roughly about 800 hertz. Let me see if that's where it is. It feels like in the pan field it's over here. You can see I can pan across the stereo spectrum here and notch frequencies out that appear disturbing to me. So let me just bring it up first of all. It was actually higher. It was about, what's that now? We don't have a real, do we have a readout here, what it really says on this plugin? No, it doesn't give you that exact hertz number. We only can see it's, that's really amazing. No, actually it is 1.10. So it's above 1K. So let's take a look here. Let me bring it in and out. It's right when you hear the string squeak. That's where it sits. Let me just bring it further down. Yeah, it's really interesting that the center position seems to grab that. This does something good here. Let me just go a little bit more extreme. There's more overall EQ in that high mid-range, but that feels more like between 600 and 900. Let's take a look what my favorite Fabfilter, whereas the EQ, bring that in. Don't need any subsonic defeat. There's no subsonics here. Let me set something very narrow and okay, let me go back here and just mute both EQs and see if you agree with me. Turning them on. You know what, it almost sounds as if they used the pickup as part of the mix, because this sounds like a piezo pickup. That's the kind of mid-range stuff a piezo pickup would cause. Okay, let me see if I can get a little bit more definition in the treble here. It's just a little density over here, low mids. Right here you can hear, that's a really problematic part. Good, both EQs on. good. We may have to work on squeaks because they sound like piezo squeaks. It's really bizarre. And I have to ask the engineer if they used the piezo pickup or if it's where the microphone is placed that it picked it up so strongly on the squeaks. Yeah, guitar also sounds very mono. I'd like it to be a little wider in order to make space for the vocal. Let's see, I'm going to go into my new favorite, the Blackbox tube EQ, tube preamp or tube stage, and set it to mid and side. Let's futz around a little bit with this. Yeah, there's still stuff disturbing me in the 800 hertz band, and I don't know if that's going to be dynamic EQ. Let's look at what happens if I see these are coupled. The mid side is coupled, and I want to uncouple it. Parameter link. So now I'm taking it off. Let me bring mid backward. It's interesting. Engaging the HG2 MS creates a loss of low mid-range. Let me just verify this. Just loop this around here for a second. Yep, that may be the stereo width making that happen. Okay, it's not thrilling me, I must say. Let me go to the Ozone 8, and look at sound field. Imager. Let's take a look at that. See what we have. Let me subdivide the bands here. I like to work with it on a 4-band. Let's take a look. Stereo width. I'm hesitant. I'm not really thrilled about the integrity of the vitality of the signal being slightly compromised when I dial that in. So, well, let me go and add some room. We'll start there first. So I'm going to create a new track. Mono. That's going to be Ocean Way. Let's see what that brings. Ocean Way usually tends to be incredibly dark. We go to the track master output. I can always widen the track master later on with the shadow hills. That seems to be a nicer way to do it. So I'm going to leave this off. Ocean Way goes in here. Leaving one slot open so we can put a equalizer before it. Ocean Way, where are you? Wait a minute. Oh, it's under. Boy, is it slow. Scrolling really slow. Why that's necessary, don't ask me. Slow boot up. You can tell it's a hog. But here we have it. Let me go, what do we have here? Anything for guitar. We put it in reverb mode because we're not sending through it. It's too risky for me. It's too not enough control. Let me set this to, in order to determine if there's equalization problems coming up. Yep, creates, like I thought, generates mid-range muddiness, so we have to equalize that. We go into Q4, that's Q3 here. Let me see if we have the room a little brighter, if that is pleasing or not. Okay, yeah, it carries over the honkiness in around the 800 band here. Okay, it's also very short. I'd like, this is the 6.1 foot microphone. What if, no, actually it's not. It's the 31 foot, the KM54 here. Let's see here. Let me engage one of the other mics. Interesting, that opens the room up to the left. Well, that's not a bad environment for the guitar. It should also have a little bit of sweet verb itself on it, and for that I'm going to try the Seventh Heaven. My new favorite. Learned that from Mark Daniel Nelson. Thanks, Mark. For so many things. Okay, here we go. Seventh, guitar seventh. And put it in here. Trackmaster output. I'm going to leave one slot free to potentially... that slow scrolling is so annoying. I don't see it. Seventh Heaven, there we go. So you got too many plugins. That creates quality problems. Okay, throw it up there. Very good. Now we have to work very carefully with pre-delays and stuff like that. So let's see here. Muting the ocean wave for a second. Sending only. It's not bad, that vocal chamber. I still find something cloudy here in the mid-range. It's really weird. How do I get that? I'm going to actually go to ozone. It keeps bugging me. Let me go to EQ, would be the ozone EQ. Dynamic, I'm not sure if it's a dynamic EQ thing or not. Let me just work with a stereo EQ Pureit and work with mid-side. Let's take a look here. EQ, a couple more bands. I find myself wanting more clarity. The mics are not picking up a lot of the pretty brightness that I know Pedro's guitar has. I don't know what mics those are, but I am. Okay, let me also go pre-mode here so I can hear potential EQ problems. Yeah, we're 250-ish. There's something getting a little muffled, which is normal. Let's go in and dial a little 250 down. Yeah, that's where it convolutes too much. I'm going to text my client real quick and see if they use the piezo. Brother, did you guys use the pickup of the guitar as well? Question mark. It sounds like there's a piezo pickup in there. Don't you have that feeling with the squeaks? The squeaks are hyper-dimensionally loud. That doesn't sound like a purely acoustic guitar. Let me try something bold here. Guitarist recorded at home separately. Okay. All right. Let me try a little bit of sonic maximization. Very risky because it can bring up brittleness like crazy. So we have to be careful. That would be BBE. Sonic maximizer. Let's see what happens if we dial in a little bit of this. Very tricky. I don't know, these mics don't offer a lot. Let me write. Do you know which microphones he used? Question mark. Okay, let's take a look here. I'm going to switch that black box out and not use anything that manipulates the stereo image. I'm just going to go to do harmonic again and maybe using a little high frequency saturation. That might be a way to go. This is the standard HG2. Let's see what it does. I'm going to put in, what's the airband do? This should be screaming. I mean, there's almost nothing there in the top. It's pretty astounding. All right, let me look at saturation on the high frequency bands. Weird. I was looking for high frequency saturation and I like it better in the lows. Imager we're kicking out. Let's take a look. I'm going to take everything out and see how far we've come. Here's everything without. Yeah, very honky. And there's this one needly frequency that hits me somewhere over here. It's still there. I may have to put a second directional or pan EQ in here and hoping that let me try it. Pan EQ. This is really interesting. Let me see if I can pinpoint it a little bit more. All right, not sure if it helps. It's very hard to get a hold of. Not liking what the second pan EQ puts in. Now let's work in pan pre-delay a little bit on the general verb. Oh, is delay compensation on? No, it's not. Haha, we need that. Risk. It's too dark. It's got too much mud on it here. I'm probably going to have to work with the high pass. Let me get a low cut here. Comparison.
Caixa d'água, aguarda a guarita, o breu ainda não existe.
Sure wish it were wider. Let's look at my Shadow Hills, my favorite new toy here. Put that in the bus medium. You hear that? Even the reverb carries it over. Right there. Not pleasant. Let me take a look. Who carries this over? Is this O'Shea? That's really just a poisonous frequency there. What is that? All right, let me... I don't want to mess with that setting here too much. Although, let me see. Go. My initial instinct was 800. It's really hard to grab. Let me duck. Still there. It's a resonant character of the guitar that I'm not. 1100 again. Toxic, really toxic frequency. That should have been addressed, of course, like, you know, before you mix these things together, but be it as it may. Let's is it the character of the room? Let's switch rooms. Vocal chamber at 1.80. That's where we were. Let me switch. No, it's recording. It's a very, very strong imprint. I think every reverb system would give us that problem. Here, let's turn them all back on. Let me also go in and do one more. Let's see, what do we have? Pan EQ. This is already set to 700 actually. Pro Q is set to, what do we do? We still have that band available? Yeah, it's been ducked here. I may have to just go steeper and narrow. exaggerating the reverb to make sure that it does something good. I'm gonna try an altiverb instead. Not crazy about, just nothing that makes me fall in love with the sound just yet. And this is surprising that it would take me this long. Let me do. See that honk, how that carries through everything is amazing. All right, let me just notch out the honk, which we now know to be around 1100. Narrow and no room should throw that back at you. That would be sounding metallic and okay, let's take. That's a nice room. That's Allaire. Let's take a look how that works in context. I'm going to ease it in from nothing. Taking the 7th heaven out. Yeah, this you find me challenged. This is not easy. The recorded sound of the guitar challenges strongly. That's not bad. Noticed I have not used any compression whatever on the guitar, although I think she should have some, but she'll get it in the master. Let's take a moment. Let's take a look at the equalized, what they call equalized, that they sent to me. Let's see what that sounds like. Here it goes to the. Actually, I'm going to go to the straight to the output. Sorry, yeah, we're hearing the sound of the reverbs coming through because they're in pre-mode. I was just going to say, nice room, but the EQ I don't like. All right, this is gone. We don't need it anymore. Now comes the vocal, the main vocal, which I like to color green. And let's see what hits us now.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, saía de Alma, Meu Pai, tamanco no pé, Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler, onde é que...
Sometimes I turn a little bit of the background reverb on to understand sort of musically what's playing with what. Let's take a look here.
De Itaoca, cruza Itararé, saía de Alma, Meu Pai, tamanco no pé, Barão de Macaúba.
It's fairly neutral.
Voluntário tem que sofrer.
Let's see what I'm just going to do some very light touches in compression. It needs something for sure. It needs Renaissance EQ, Renaissance compressor. Let's do a little bit of that. Although the RVox might come in handy. Let's see what the RVox does as an overall measure. There's one preset I do like. Factory. This one here. It's a good starting place.
Agora em Jacarepaguá, saudade do querer. O voluntário tem que sofrer. Serão na caixa d'água, a guarda-guarita, o breu, ainda.
Fairly strong measures, but not bad. Okay. I'm going to put a little, I want some, what do I want? I want to hear the soft parts of his vocal more, but I do need to do a little equalizing first. And I think I'm going to go to my good old friend, believe it or not, the Pro Tools stock EQ.
O voluntário tem que sofrer, serão na caixa d'água, a guarda-guarita, o breu ainda não existia. Eu habitará meu Pai, ai, cruza, descansará meu Pai. Barão de...
Okay, let me put a little MV2 on it now. I wanted to sound as if he stood closer to the mic. He was a good bit of distance away from the mic.
Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler, moleque aprendendo.
No, well, he was close enough to cause a plosive here, so I can definitely roll off. I'm just going to do the easy step here, roll off below 90. Maybe 100. Pedro can be nice and low and warm in his vocal, but he'd have to be closer to the microphone than he is.
Agora em Jacarepaguá, saudades do Guinga, soldado raso voo.
Let's go to, first of all, bring him up to the vocal master, which is already running through the Shadow Hills here, but I'm going to disable that. Alright, so guitar needs to come down. Let's do this here. Actually, if I did that, I'm going to have to set these guys back to post. Because now that we've got done the work here, I can set them back to post. So otherwise I get the distorted relationship, then the reverb will be too loud when I pull the guitar down. Let me come down 4 or 5 dB.
Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler, onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá, saudades do Querengue, soldado raso voluntário tem que sofrer, serão na caixa d'água, a guarda-guarita, o breu ainda não existia. Eu habitará meu Pai, ai, cruza, descansará meu Pai na lousa.
All right, what verb do we want on Pedro? I want to try vocal. Let me try an LX 480, good old friend 480, and see what that does. Vocal master. Here she is, leaving one slot free. Probably will have to be EQ'd as well. Reverb. Here is the LX 480. Let's see what that does.
Agora em Jacaré.
Very long, way too long. We want to come way down.
Agora em Jacarepaguá, saudades do Querengue, soldado raso voluntário tem que sofrer, serão na caixa d'água, a guarda-guarita, o breu ainda não existia.
All right, I'm giving in. I'm going to try my secret sauce, Abbey Road, the Beatles compressor, but I'm going to use it parallel, very, very slightly. Let's take a look what happens.
Soldado raso voluntário tem que sofrer, serão na caixa d'água, a guarda-guarita, o breu ainda não existia. Eu habitará meu Pai, ai, cruza, descansará meu Pai na...
All right, I'm going to to do something that you may or may not agree with. I'm going to do a guitar duck, have the guitar duck by the vocal. And ideally, I would love to duck it only in the center. That would be lovely if I had that opportunity. Okay, let's do that. Call it Vox duck. And then we don't need this track here. Crank it up all the way so it blasts fully ahead into the Vox duck. We're going to take dynamics. I'm going to take my good old Pro Tools stock compressor. He's telling me he's recorded it with a Zoom H1. There's your answer. That's why that microphone doesn't give you that's why he's asking me ideally should he redo it, and we're like, well, why did you send me the recording? No, let me ask it. I think I could get something pretty and useful. Smiley face. Let me see if I can do some justice by this. All right, so we want to now have the guitar ducked by the vocal. Okay. Ducker medium. See, it's set to 1.1.1.121. So it's just a little bit that it's going to hold the guitar back. You're not going to be able to tell that that's what's going on.
Soldado raso voluntário tem que sofrer. Serão na caixa d'água.
See, it's just about a dB, and it just takes a little bit of the guitar hitting into the vocal range away.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, saía dia uma.
Not crazy about what the 480 does just yet. It may be a combo of things. Let me grab Seventh Heaven with a Sunset Chamber, also a tip of Mark Daniel Nelson. Thanks for that, Mark. Mono, let's take a look here. This is Vox 7th. Set the output to Vox Master. Solo exempt. Plug it in. Come on, scroll, scroll, scroll. Why that must take so long, I just don't understand it. All right, we're moving to Sunset Chamber. Sounds long, 2 seconds. I'm going to go 1.85 maybe. And let's slowly bring it in. Let's see, I'm blocking off the 480. Vox duck, well, of course, will stay.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, sai.
Aha, now there is a little air around him there.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, saía dia uma, e pai tamanco no pé, barão de.
So now if we turn the 480 on as well.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé.
480 does something too much. I'm going to have it be ducked. I'm just going to steal the ducking plugin from the guitar and duck the reverb now.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, saía dia uma, e pai tamanco no pé, barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler, onde é que anda você agora, em Jacaré?
So now with the setting and whatever these plugins do, I'm getting a little brittleness above 5K. I'm going to just take a surgical approach to that here by using the C6 just to hold back a little bit on the brittleness. Let's take a look here. Maybe that much. Go a little wider. Not more than 2 dB.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, saía dia uma, e pai tamanco no pé, barão moleque.
Yeah, whatever is piercing gets addressed by that one. I still wish that the vocal could come forward. It's just everything sounds so far back.
Caminho de Itaoca cruza.
All right. Bold step, working on the top. Moog EQ, my favorite with the air band. This is my preferred setting. I'm going to not do anything about mid-range.
Caminho de Itaoca cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá, saudades do querengue. Soldado raso voluntário tem que sofrer. Serão na caixa d'água, a guarda guarita, o breu ainda não existia. Eu habitará meu pai, ai cruza, descansará meu pai na lousa. Na igreja de São Roque, na esquina da Baronesa, vagando na redondeza, meu pai.
Interesting. I just turned on the Shadow Hills for the master setting, and it made the vocal seemingly hit harder, which is weird because this thing is so mellow.
Caminho de Itaoca cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão de Macaúba.
1 degree of limiting on the opto part here is not bad.
Caminho de Itaoca cruza Itararé. No pé. Barão de
Okay, this by the way is their suggestion. That's the bounce that they.
Caminho de Itaoca cruza Itararé.
Let's compare.
Caminho de Itaoca cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé.
That how the LX throws the sound out is not very pleasant to my ear. I like the shape. Maybe I have to make the shape like this.
Caminho de Itaoca cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você?
Okay, I'm thinking we're incurring just a little bit of mid-range convolution. 150-ish, somewhere over here. I'm going to do my favorite first step, put the Pultec in and defeat a little bit around 100 here. But I can also, I love doing this trick. This will actually take the lower, tune it lower. Take a look what happened.
Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá, saudades do querengue. Soldado raso voluntário tem que sofrer. Serão na caixa d'água, a guarda guarita, o breu.
All right, I got my a little bit low mid defeat here from the master EQ because we convoluted a little bit. That happens to me a lot. Must be my monitor speakers. The L2, I love the L2. I'm just going to actually, that setting sounded pretty good. I'm not going to touch it. If it sounds good, I'm going to not touch it. Okay, I also want to double check one more time a medium bus setting. Mastering medium, what's that sound like?
Caminho de Itaoca cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você?
All right, now my vocal came down forward just a little bit. I'm going to trim 0.7 off. Post roll.
A cruza e tararé, saía dia uma, meu pai tá manco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá, saudades do...
I know Pedro. Pedro loves to hear the guitar not so far back in the vocal, not like in pop music out. So I could either hold back the louder stuff very gently, or, you know what? You may think that I'm putting a lot of plugins on there, and I am, and I don't care. I am going to do a little Renaissance compressor at the very output here. Come on, Renaissance compressor. That's the one I wanted to use in the beginning, but just for the louder stuff here.
Taoca, cruza e tararé, saía dia uma, meu pai tá manco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá, saudades do querengue. Soldado raso voluntário tem que sofrer. Serão na caixa d'água, a guarda, a guarita, o breu ainda não existia. Eu habitará meu pai, ai cruza, descansará meu pai.
Okay, just pinpointing one other frequency that's problematic here in the vocal.
Descansará meu.
Right there, this upper mids. I'm going to use this band. They sound like also run about in the 1K band or so. Let me make it nice and narrow.
Descansará meu pai.
Right about there, yep. I'm going to hold back a little bit.
Descansará meu pai. Descansa.
Yeah, threshold needs to be set very careful so it doesn't eat out too much of the sound of his voice.
Pai tá manco no pé, Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá.
I'm not going to take out more than 2 dB or something like that, which is fairly drastic, but I think you agree that some drastic measures have to be taken.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, sai.
What really bugs me right now is that I hear the guitar right on his vocal, and obviously he's playing in the vocal range. I could equalize it out, but is that what we want? Well, recorded with the Zoom H1. Okay, that's tricky. That's really tricky. Well, then I don't feel so bad. I'm thinking, am I deaf? Okay, let's look. I'm just gonna try to do a little bit mid-range control here. Not quite sure where, but I'm gonna do the lightest. That sounds more pleasant to my ears. Let's do it.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé, saía dia uma, meu pai tá manco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá.
What this vocal recording lacks is, let me just turn this off. It's completely dead. So the room he was recorded in, listen to this, is completely...
Itararé.
Actually, I can take that back, it's not.
Toca, cruza e tararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você?
All right, I'm just turn my whole kitchen back on with the stuff around it. It's just there's the connection to between instrument and vocal is not quite there yet. There should theoretically be something like the Abbey Road Studio, just pasted over it and just tucked in the back so you feel his presence in the room. He sounds like one-dimensional, not front.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé.
But you know, the 480 with not so much pre-delay and that little bit of air around Seventh Heaven helps it a lot, I think.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá, saudades do querengue. Soldado raso volume.
What I've missed a little bit, this seems to be just a 6-string guitar, is a little bit of bass. I'm just going to not hold back any lows. Let's see if I can maybe still get a little bit more, I don't know, just a little bit more warmth out of it with this band here.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora? Em Jacarepaguá, saudades do querengue.
And of course you know I don't like doing that because it just clouds the low mid-range.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé.
And with those 800 or 1000 hertz anomalies up there from the Zoom microphone and the way it was positioned, it's a little bit of a liability to cut more low mids out.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você?
But when I turn this band off and don't have that boost, those 2-3 dB, I miss it.
Caminho de Itaoca, cruza Itararé. Saía dia uma e pai tamanco no pé. Barão cruza Itararé.
Quite a world of difference, isn't it? That was just a little bit of, you know, the previous recording. Listening.
Itaoca, cruza Itararé. Saía de Itaoca, cruza Itararé. Barão de Macaúba, moleque aprendendo a ler. Onde é que anda você agora?
The sibilance is at the edge of where I'm thinking, you know, but Pedro's got a very high S, you know, the S is pitched very high. So if I notch too much of the high out, he's going to sound like he's got a lisp. I don't like that, you know. I wish we had de-essers that could just simply tune down the S, even if they have to artificially produce it. I have one client out here in the US that has a whistle, an S that's just a high-pitched frequency, so it's like a 9K sharp sound, like a note. That's not how bad this is. This is not at all bad. I could dial it back. Let me send it to the client. That's all I got so far. I hope this was informative for you. If you enjoyed this, two things, please. Check out Pedro Iaco. I'm going to put a link. He does amazing projects. I'm going to put a link in the description. Please help the channel out by subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. I hope this was useful for you because I didn't do any editing I just kind of breezed through it, threw myself in the mix, and all in all, I've worked on this now for 11:45 till 1 p.m. So that's an hour and 15. That's not too bad, I think. So with fresh ears, I'll be able to do more things, but for that, I need an ear break. Okay, I'm gonna have lunch now. God bless. Stay creative, stay healthy, and enjoy life as it begins to unfold. You know, I'm just reporting this to you on, what is this now? May 19th, 2021. Stephan Oberhoff signing out from the Creation Station. God bless and stay creative and stay strong. Peace.